The Dallas Cowboys just made a move that could shake up their offensive line depth chart, and it involves a familiar face from the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is more than just a roster tweak. It's a statement about where Dallas is heading and how Pittsburgh's offensive line shuffle is changing the league. If you're a football fan who loves seeing how the smallest moves can make the biggest impact, buckle up, because this one might surprise you. And before we break it all down, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a major NFL update. Let's get into it. The Cowboys are adding another former Pittsburgh Steelers player to their roster, signing recently released offensive lineman Nick Broeker. This comes straight from the league's official transaction wire, and it's the kind of mid-preseason signing that often flies under the radar, but could become a big story by week 1. Broeker was cut by the Steelers just before their preseason opener against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It wasn't necessarily a performance issue. It was a numbers game. The Steelers had just brought in Andrus Peat, a former New Orleans Saints Pro Bowler, to bolster their depth at left tackle. Peat's experience on the outside made him an instant plug-and-play option, which pushed Broeker out of the rotation. Now, Broeker isn't arriving in Dallas alone when it comes to Steelers connections. He joins wide receiver George Pickens, another ex-Steeler who found his way to the Cowboys this offseason. Pickens was traded after Pittsburgh acquired DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks, and Dallas gave up a third-round pick to make that deal happen. In other words, the Cowboys are quietly collecting pieces from Pittsburgh's roster, and they're doing it with intent. So who exactly is Nick Broeker? Broeker's NFL journey has already been a winding road. Most of his playing time came with the Houston Texans, where he suited up for 12 games over the past 2 seasons. He's versatile, having played both guard and tackle, and even took some snaps at center during his brief time with the Steelers. Before that, Broeker was an Ole Miss standout. The Buffalo Bills drafted him in the 7th round of the 2023 NFL Draft, but he didn't make the 53-man roster. That's when the Texans scooped him up, giving him his first real taste of NFL action. His ability to play multiple positions is one of his biggest assets, and in the NFL, versatility is often the key to sticking around. From Pittsburgh's perspective, their offensive line depth is still in flux. Training camp battles are ongoing, but there are already signs of who's emerging as key depth players. Former 7th-round pick Spencer Anderson is trending toward being their swing guard. Ryan McCullum seems to have the inside track as the backup center. And for the swing tackle role, Dylan Cook is in the lead, especially since he's been filling in for Broderick Jones, who's been sidelined with a groin injury. With Pete now in the mix, Pittsburgh has an experienced veteran to step in at left tackle, and they can experiment with younger, developing players in other spots. Andrus Peat, the man whose arrival ultimately led to Broeker's release, isn't taking this opportunity lightly, especially going to a new organization. I don't take this opportunity for granted, so I'm going to work my way up and keep working, Peat said when discussing his move to the Steelers. That's the reality of the NFL. New faces arrive, others move on, and every roster spot is earned week by week. For Dallas, bringing in Broeker isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about shoring up depth in a position group that can make or break a season. Offensive line play is often the unsung hero of an NFL team's success, and injuries are almost guaranteed over the course of 17 games. If Broeker can adapt quickly to the Cowboys system, he could find himself in the mix as a rotational piece and maybe even a key injury replacement. His ability to play guard, tackle, and center means Dallas can plug him in wherever they need help. And with the Cowboys expected to make a serious push in the NFC this year, every bit of reliable depth counts. This move also highlights an interesting dynamic between Dallas and Pittsburgh this offseason. The Cowboys are essentially capitalizing on the Steelers' roster decisions. First with George Pickens, now with Broeker. While Pickens is a high-profile addition, Broeker is more of a wait-and-see player. But history tells us that sometimes the lesser-known acquisitions end up being the biggest difference-makers when it matters most. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh's preseason is just getting started. They'll face the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Carolina Panthers before finalizing their roster. With just 2 days of training camp left at St. Vincent College, position battles are heating up, and every snap is being scrutinized. For Cowboys fans, the key will be watching how quickly Broeker integrates into the offense. Will he be a break glass in case of emergency backup, or will he push for active roster snaps right away? For Steelers fans, the focus shifts to how their retooled offensive line holds up, especially with Peat stepping in and younger players getting more opportunities. In the NFL, the smallest transactions can have the biggest ripple effects. Nick Broeker's move from Pittsburgh to Dallas may not dominate the headlines today, but give it a few weeks, and we could be talking about how this under-the-radar signing became a pivotal moment in the Cowboys season. This is the beauty of football. Every player, no matter where they start, has the chance to make an impact. So what do you think? Is Nick Broeker just another depth piece, or could he become a surprise contributor for Dallas this year? And for Steelers fans, did Pittsburgh make the right call moving on from him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love getting the latest NFL news and breakdowns just like this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your fellow football fans. Because in the NFL, every move matters, and we'll be here to break them all down for you.